and start them off with some fire.
Okay. Yes, it says live. We are live. We are live.
And we're live. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Tea Talk with Gina and MJ. How are you today, Gina?
Ooh, I feel fabulous. I feel fabulous. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. How are you doing?
I'm doing well because we're talking about one of my favorite subjects. It's the time of year, but we want to change that today, don't we? We want to
Yes.
say this time of year, but we want to change that as of today because today we're going to talk about this beautiful baby here, which is an absolutely positively pumpkin. We want to give you some pumpkin love. Well, but with no pumpkin. How about that?
Yeah.
You're like,
Exactly.
what is she
Exactly.
talking about? What is she talking about?
And that's
Go ahead.
that's the one thing I realized that I have the pumpkin spice in there, but usually if I make like a pumpkin smoothie or pumpkin latte, I usually put real pumpkin pulp into it. But today there's no pumpkin pulp involved. But we are talking about that particular spice blend that everybody raves about this time of the year, right?
Pumpkin
And that
time.
is pumpkin spice. This happened to this, they call
Mm,
this one pumpkin pie spice, but it's the same thing that's in pumpkin spice. And both of these, I guess both of them are called pumpkin pie spice. But
pumpkin
it's a
pie.
blend. It is a blend of four different spices that pretty much everybody has in their spice cabinet. So you don't even have to go out and buy this. You can simply make it yourself. And I actually dug through mine and I found here's the ginger, which is
Mhm.
in here's well, cloves isn't mentioned in these ingredients. The four that are mentioned on here are cinnamon, allspice, ginger, and nutmeg. But clove
Clove
is,
is in them.
is usually in pumpkin spice, but in a small amount because you do not want to use a lot of clove because it's very
It's
overpowering.
potent. It's
Yes,
very potent. Hmm.
very potent. And then there's nutmeg and there's allspice. And I usually have pure cinnamon, but I think I finished the cinnamon, but I did have cinnamon sugar, so I pulled that out. So most of you are going to have all of these in your cabinet. The other one that I personally put into my pumpkin spice blend is cardamom. It's not traditional, but I'm not a traditional type of girl. I break traditions. So, and I talk a little bit about that. So yes, today we are talking about pumpkin spice that everybody is raving about this time of the year. As soon as
Right?
um,
The shift changes, and all of a sudden, everybody got their witchy hat on, and everybody's ready to go,
ex-
and everybody's running amok, 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 and everybody's all hocus pocus
exactly.
up because of this spice right here. And I want to tell you something. These spices should be used all year round, not just when it gets hot and you want to put them into your pumpkin pie to make amazing taste. All year round. So make
All
sweet
year round.
potatoes. And how good if you add these ingredients on it. There are so many things that you can make, and there's so many recipes you can get that are so healthy for your body. So let's talk. Which is the first one we want to hit, Gina?
The first ingredient we want to talk about is cinnamon. And
Cinnamon.
we have
Hey,
spoken about
Charlotte.
cinnamon before in great detail. And most of the ingredients that we're going to talk about, we've spoken about in a lot of detail in previous episodes. But because, of this blend and just how powerful this blend is, we wanted to just throw some light on the health benefits as well. But most of today's focus is going to be on the magical side and to show you just how
Yay!
powerful of a blend it really is. And I was telling MJ before we have these kind of behind the scenes chit chats. I was telling her, I said the one day it really hit me when, I started doing deep spiritual work was I opened up my spice cabinet one day and I looked in and it was like something came on, like a light bulb came on, and it was this cabinet is nothing but magic. Everything in here is nothing but magic. Do people realize that their spice cabinet is it's pure magic? There's just so much power in a spice cabinet. And so that's why we kind of, if you notice, we kind of shifted a little bit in the what we've been presenting on Tea Talk, because we wanted to show you just how, what you have in your spice cabinet and items in your spice cabinet that you can actually use to make tea and lattes and whatever else you want to do with it. Baking.
And set
Exactly.
intentions and put magic out there, because this is it. You have it right in your gut. You were saying it in my head. My grandmother came in and she was like, remember when I used to go tell you to go get the spice in the cabinet to the left? And it was in the cabinets where the chicken spice was and all the spices. She would make candles. My grandmother would make candle medicine, and she would get that. I gotta get, she would say, La vecina viene, the neighbor's coming and she needs something. And I would go help her make these little things. And she just flashed it in my head right now. And you were
Yeah.
right, Gina.
Mhm.
Everything was in the kitchen, in the spice rack. Everything. There
Exactly.
wasn't nothing. Okay. So
Exactly. Yeah. So cinnamon, like I said, we've talked about these in the past. Cinnamon um, lowers your blood sugar. And let's put a caveat here again. We always have to do this. If you're taking medication for diabetes, always, and for any, and on any of these, actually, consult your doctor if you're on any kind of
yes.
medications, especially for diabetes or high blood pressure, because one of the things you'll notice about this blend is it is a huge, huge immune booster, right? And it, one of the things it helps with is, well, two of the things: blood sugar, high blood pressure. And a lot of people take one or either or both of these particular medications. So you definitely would want to check with your doctor. But cinnamon lowers your blood sugar, boosts metabolism, and I can understand why that would be useful this time of year, since we tend to eat a lot more around this time of year.
But
But
hold up, Gina. Let's add to that. Let's get a little tip. I'm going to tip
mhm,
you on that one. So, because
mhm,
they're showing me something, it lowers your blood sugar. So, instead of having a piece of candy, which is bad for you anyway, to raise your
right,
sugar and whatever, how about some cinnamon in your bag? It's healthy. The
mhm,
benefits are going to be amazing. And by just adding a little on your tongue, it's going to spice it up. You'll get a little tingling, but it will
exactly.
regulate the energy in your body, which is better for you than a
And that's
piece of
what it
candy.
does. It regulates your blood sugar. So like you said, you don't necessarily have to go and grab a piece of candy. You can just simply get a sprinkle of cinnamon, not the tablespoon that most people have been doing in these crazy challenges. No, you don't
Yeah,
really.
no, stop.
You
We're
just need a
talking a
little bit,
couple. Yes.
yeah,
Or
to put on
sprinkle
your
it
food.
on, or if you can't, sprinkle it in your water, shake it up really quick, put it on your
Yes.
coffee, on your tea. Remember, it's something, or sprinkle it on your food. But if you're having a sugar on, in Puerto Rico, un bajón, we call it, it's called a bajón. It's a lowering here.
Mhm.
You know what? You want to raise your sugar. Don't go to candy. Let's stay away from the bad processed food.
Right.
Grab some cinnamon, guys. This one is key. And the see, once again, you have this all year round. It helps you.
Exactly. Exactly. So lowers blood pressure again, huge anti-inflammatory herb or spice, boosts collagen in your skin. So by boosting the collagen in your skin, it's going to kind of, plump up and those little wrinkles that you may
No
not necessarily
wrinkles.
want. It has been proven to slow cancer growth. So there's a lot of, anytime I mention that C word, I'm doing so because there's scientific evidence out there that, we don't really have a bunch of time to go through on the show, but you can go and certainly find it for yourself. So it definitely has been proven to slow cancer growth. And a lot of studies are now being tested also relating to how cinnamon boosts memory and how it can help with Alzheimer's patients, because it helps to kind of block that protein that has been shown to be the cause of Alzheimer's. So by blocking that protein, it's going to improve the memory of people who have already been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Hopefully that made sense. Um, it also helps to lower the LDL cholesterol while raising your HDL cholesterol, which is the good cholesterol that you want, right? So it's antibacterial, has been shown to be beneficial against salmonella, against E. coli, against staph. It is anti-candida. So if you have candida overgrowth, which we know contributes to yeast infections and all kinds of other things, cinnamon has been shown to be beneficial in fighting candida. And this is just in a nutshell, okay? And this is just one of the ingredients in pumpkin spice. And just that ingredient by itself is so powerful, right? So imagine together with all of the other ingredients. This is why I said to MJ, we have to talk about pumpkin spice because people don't realize just how powerful this thing is, yet they reserve it for maybe 2 months of the year.
For Halloween?
No.
Stop. All year
So,
round.
all year round. So that was cinnamon. You want me to go through all of them and then
No, let's
kind of
break it up so that way we can have a breakup of each one. So we're
okay.
going to talk about cinnamon. Okay, once again, that remind you that's a masculine energy, cinnamon. It is the element of fire, and we want to burn, baby, burn. Okay, and once again, it's all about the money, 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 because this is the money herb. Cinnamon is all about the blessings. It's about success. How about lighting some candles and adding some cinnamon in and calling in the prosperity? And you do it on a Thursday in a waning moon, and boop, boop, baby, you are on fire. This is what you want to do. So this is prosperity. This is success. This is manifestation. Okay. Cinnamon is for healing, power, that psychic connection and ability. It is lust, protection, and love. This is a multi-purpose herb. Cinnamon is for everything, depending on what to use. So in ancient times, the Hebrews would add cinnamon to line the walls of their ritual spaces. I put cinnamon in my morning smoothie. See, there you go. You put in your, and so do I. Every morning I'm sprinkling cinnamon in my tea or in my coffee because it gives an extra, I just love it. So good for you that you're doing that. And what you're doing, you're calling in the money spiritually. You're calling in love. You are connecting to your gifts. And let's talk about sacral chakra, baby. You are aligning your sacral chakra by using cinnamon because it is a sacral chakra stone. So if you want to align your chakras, think about that. If your sacra's out of get some cinnamon. This is the tea for it. Mm-hmm. And so this is that. So sunstone is the beautiful stone connected for me for cinnamon because it has all the powers of raw, and that's what you want to use to heal yourself. And what is the sacral chakra? Sacral chakra. So if it's out of balance, you're feeling emotional, you're feeling stress, it's envy, jealousy, all that stuff. If you don't want all that, you're angry all the time. Why am I angry all the time? Work on your sacral chakra, bring it back to balance, get in some. Now, we're talking, you see the colors? Oranges. Aren't you glad you have these colors in your life? Bring in colors like this in your life to help you. That helps your sacral chakra. Or you're going to eat these colors. So cinnamon, so pies, pumpkin, anything with these colors are going to help you as well. So I just gave you a visualization of the sacral chakra and cinnamon. And look, it looks like cinnamon, right? The colors just look the same. So look how good cinnamon is just for you.
So when we're talking about the digestive area, we're also talking about the solar plexus chakra. And the soul in the Ayurvedic tradition, there's a word called Agni. Is it Agni, Agni, which is the term for fire. So even in the Ayurvedic tradition, they have that word fire because when we talk about your digestive fire, they're talking about the acid in your stomach that digests the food, but we're also talking about that digestive fire, which is where you get your motivation, where you get your passion, your passion for life, your sense of empowerment. That all comes from that area, right? Your solar plexus, your sacral chakra. And when that area is imbalanced, all kinds of things are out of whack, right? So when you're physically imbalanced, it also affects the spiritual aspect of those particular energy centers as well. And that's like a whole other day of so we won't go into that. But yes, when you're talking about your digestive fire, that's pretty much what this pumpkin spice blend does. It really boosts your immune system, right? So that was cinnamon. Let's talk about ginger again in a nutshell.
Ginger, okay.
Anti-inflammatory. It improves digestion, which we were just talking about. It helps to relieve nausea. This is typically the herb that people go to whenever they have an upset stomach, right? Is ginger. You drink some ginger ale or some ginger beer or whatever the case is. It's immune boosting. Again, we heard that with cinnamon. It's a natural pain reliever. Natural pain reliever in ginger. It also helps to protect against high blood pressure. It also helps to protect against diabetes. And again, we already gave the caveat. And it, by protecting the digestive system, is also helping with boosting liver health, because we know that the liver, the liver needs a lot of support. And ginger is one of those herbs that supports not just when we think of the digestive system, we think about the intestines and the stomach, but it's a lot more than that. It's the gallbladder, and it's the colon, and it's the liver, right? So all of that is tied in, and ginger is very good for that, for everything. So that's ginger in a nutshell. Again, we've discussed this in great detail in other videos, but today we just kind of wanted to do a snippet and focus on the magical aspects of it as well.
Now, ginger, once again, for here, ginger is another masculine fire energy. You get it? Fire. We're working with fire, passion. It's love. Once again, it's success, it's money, it's power. Okay, you can carve your initials of love into a ginger root, and if you put the initials with your partner in them, love will blossom for as long as you want it. But be weary. Make sure that person is the right person for you, or you won't get rid of them. So ginger is used to banish. Say you have a tendency to be a smoker or an overeater, okay? Ginger, if you chew it, helps cut your habit. Take 30 days, and instead of putting a piece of food in your mouth when you're hungry, take a piece of ginger. Back in the day, that's what they would use to put away things they didn't want. When they drank too much ale and ale became a problem, they would chew ginger, and within 30 days they didn't want the ale anymore. So it used, back then they called it the banishing root. So imagine how good that was. And ginger, something, okay, it helps with the stomach. Now also, we're talking about in the Pacific Islands, they would take ginger and eat it and chew on it when they knew a storm was coming, and they would spit ginger into the storm, so the storm would cease and desist, because the fire of ginger would flow the storm out the way. So I thought that was very cool.
Fire against water.
Yeah, fire against water. You see that? So here I am. From now on, when there's a hurricane coming my way, I'm going to grab some ginger and I'm going to spit at it.
Before you move on, I just remembered one thing. Cinnamon. We didn't mention with the cinnamon, the first of the month. I know a lot of people who do this. They get some cinnamon powder, open their front door, stand there, and blow it into the house, and it's supposed to bring in prosperity to your home. So we've got to mention that earlier. So I wanted to mention that, since you brought up with the ginger spitting into the storm, that magical aspect behind that. Yes, there are a lot of people who work with the ginger in very, very powerful ways. I mean, with cinnamon. So it
should be lined in your door. See, this is not a one-time thing. Ginger is in the ingredients. I want to tell you, ginger is in the witch's balls that we create. Ginger is on the lining that I put in my front door normally. It's one of the main multi-purpose ingredients and cinnamon that is used in everything, because it's the prosperity, the love. It works for everything. So even in your windowsill. So I want to tell you, you open up a couple of cabinets in my home, you come into certain sections and you're like, hit by a whiff of beautiful cinnamon. And you're like, what is that? Cinnamon. You can ask. This is Celia. She opened up my bookcase and she opened.
You're frozen. But
that's it was very powerful.
Yeah. So yeah,
Did I lose you? Uh-oh.
This show is designed to give you, a kind of a glimpse into the power behind all of these different spices that you do have in your spice cabinet. And it's not stuff that we are just kind of inventing on the fly, right? There's a lot of history behind the uses of these different herbs and spices. I think I lost MJ, but we'll bring her back on. So I'm going to talk about nutmeg, which is, and MJ, if you can hear me, you can just kick yourself out, and then I will bring you back on. Oh, here she is. So let me add. All right, there we go. Technical difficulties.
It's okay. Something glitched.
So yeah, we're going to talk about nutmeg.
Okay.
And this is one where I'm going to say just use with caution. It smells divine, and I think anything that smells divine, we tend to kind of overuse it. But nutmeg has its own little special qualities about it, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So again, like ginger, nutmeg is a natural pain reliever. It helps with the digestive system. And again, let me mention this here. It is said that 75%, give or take, depends on who you talk to, of the immune system resides in the gut, right? So it stands to reason that we need to do a lot of work in the digestive system area to make sure that's healthy, because that's the area that pretty much is keeping the rest of the body healthy. So you'll notice a lot of these herbs and spices that we're talking about are immune system boosters, which is again one reason why I wonder why is it that more people don't utilize this blend all year long rather than just wait until cold and flu season and then start to use it in so many different ways. Some of them are kind of unhealthy when you think of all of the stuff that goes in, but we won't get into that right now. So this is why I said this is a blend that should be utilized all year long, boosts your immune system, and prepares you for this time of the year where there's an onslaught of colds and flus and all of the other, that other particular virus that's been floating around the last couple of years. So instead of going gung-ho these last couple of months of the year or these 2 months, why not utilize this blend all year long and boost your immune system that way, right? And there's lots of different ways to utilize this blend so that you don't get bored of it. Because I know some people say, well, if I use this thing all year long, I'm just going to get bored and it's not going to mean anything by the time pumpkin season comes around. But trust me, no, I utilize this blend all year long, and I'm still gung-ho about pumpkin spice season when September, October hits. So
You got to use it. The benefits are overwhelming. The benefits are overwhelming not to use it. These are spices I want to tell you. These 5 spices here are everything. These 4 or 5 spices are everything. And you should be using them in everything. Everything that you kidding me.
Yes.
So I'm going to I found a quick story that I want to share just before, and it has nothing to do with nothing. It just talks about these spices when the history of pumpkin spice. Remember, a lot of the world didn't have spices. Spices came from Indonesia, those part of the world, and then they shipped it out and they brought it to different. But these spices have been used for thousands of years, but just not in our part of the world. So when it also helps with nausea, and so is clove as well. Clove is really good for that too. We'll get to clove. But these spices have been used. They're saying they have historical document that they found pumpkin spice 350,000 years ago, that it was in one of a tomb in Indonesia. These exact same ingredients, exact same. Imagine what they were using them for. That means that if they're in a tomb, they believe that they were for the afterlife, just like in Egyptian rituals. So that means in that terminology, they use that in that sense. All right. You got to put that together. And I was like, whoa, in a ritual. So that means it was so powerful. And remember, herbs were gold. The herbs back in those days were the money. So whoever died in those caves took all their money with them, which was pumpkin spice.
Exactly. And the whole idea of they believed in the afterlife, that they were going to come back, so they were basically preserving the body, the health of the body, to be able to travel to the afterlife and experience abundant life in wherever they were. So
And
that
taking them to the
ties in
next life too.
exactly, and it ties into what we're talking about with the immune system and keeping the immune system healthy. So the magical sense and the medical or the health benefits, they all tie together, and that's one of the things you notice. That's why I love having MJ on the show, because she says these things in a way that I can't. Right, I can tell you all of the good stuff, the health benefits of it, and then when she starts to talk about the magical benefits, and you go like, boom, it all makes sense. Everything ties together. That's what we're kind of hoping that you're seeing from this.
And
So
we want you to see these stories are real stories. You could research
mhm,
these stories and just see how magic. If you're a visual person and you need visualization, they have pictures of the
yes,
pieces that they found these things in, and you
mhm,
wanna say like, wow, if they were using them then and we can use them now, how
yes,
important they are to your body. Hello. And not just
mhm,
one time of the year when the trees fall and the pumpkin comes out, which has nothing to do with pumpkins. Okay, let's stop.
exactly, exactly, exactly. All right, so let's continue with nutmeg. It detoxes the body. That was the next note. It boosts immunity, which I mentioned. It improves circulation, right? Because it is a warming herb, so it's going to improve the blood flowing through your body. But one caveat, and I have that here, is that, and I mentioned it earlier, do not take too much of nutmeg. When you're actually making if you're doing a DIY pumpkin spice, you don't want to add too much nutmeg, because um, too much of it can actually give you a whole third eye experience.
Well, maybe you want to get your third eye up there. I mean,
And I
I'm
was about to say
saying,
that.
hello.
Unless you want to have, one of those moments, you want to be very careful on just how much. And if you're operating any kind of machinery, you've got to be very careful on working with nutmeg, because it is such a powerful herb, and it is considered to be, if you burn some nutmeg, you can, yes, go certain places. So be very careful when
Sometimes
you're
you want
working
to
with
go those
nutmeg.
places.
I know, for those of you who want to go, yes, but
Who's coming
the
with me?
Muggle community, that's what I want to say. The Muggle community may not necessarily want those trips. So because it is a nervine, so it's going to be very soothing and very relaxing to your nervous system. So you don't want to be operating it in the kind of, heavy machinery, um, riding lawnmower, driving a car. If you are working with nutmeg in that particular fashion, okay. So give yourself some time to let that pass through your system before you jump on you know, operating
I
anything.
got I got one.
Yes.
If you don't want to do anything, just drink some nutmeg tea and say, I had nutmeg tea, I can't do anything. I have to relax. Gina said.
Re- re- it's very relaxing. Yeah, very relaxing. Um, so yes, it can make you very sleepy. And there's a chemical in there. It's called trimeristin, and that is what helps to really soothe your muscles, soothe your nerves. So if you have like anxiety, nutmeg is very good for that. But again, you don't want to work with it. You don't want to take too much, not too much of it. And it also helps to reduce blood pressure. So again, if you are on blood pressure medication, just like the others that we mentioned, this blend is very good in the high blood pressure and in the diabetic department. So, and a lot of doctors don't really tell you that, cinnamon especially is really good for for diabetes, uh, unless you go to a doctor that is open to having that discussion about nutrition. Most doctors are not going to tell you that. I know a few who actually have said, to certain people that I know who were taking diabetes medication, and were told, if you drink some ginger tea, it might help you kind of cut back on the amount of pills that you're taking. But that's rare when a doctor actually tells you that. So just keep that in mind, and anything you hear on this show, please take that information, um, back to your doctor. Don't say, well, Gina said or MJ said. You go to your doctor and you say, I heard this. Can you tell me, is it safe? And I really want to try this, but I'm taking this particular thing. So yes, have that discussion with your
Please
doctor.
do. Absolutely. Mm.
So
So
that is
spiritually, for nutmeg, are we there? Are we ready for the
yes,
nutmeg
yes.
spiritual? Once again, we're talking about another fire. It's fire in air. It's associated with the planet Jupiter. Hello. And what is Jupiter about? It's all about the money, money, money. Once again, we're
Mhm.
bringing in the money. Now look at the abundance in these three herbs: success, money, love. Boom. There you go. Now, nutmeg is part of the evergreen family. Okay, so it is grown in Indonesia. It comes from these spice islands. I make my own chai tea. Ooh, I like that. Mm.
Yeah.
I love chai. Anything chai. Chai is this year has been my thing. Everything chai is all about my happy place. But this is coming. This nutmeg comes from the island with all those other ones where they were created, where they were found and made, and it helps. But this one, once again, is a success when you add it with the other ingredients or use it alone. It's all about
Mhm.
success. This is once again the lining of your door. You know what? Let's play a game of magic every day. MJ wakes up every morning and sages her windows because you want to make sure you have good blessings in it. MJ every morning has a sprinkle that I put on my front door to call in beautiful success and blessings. It's not
Mhm.
every once in a while. It's every day. It's like brushing my teeth. It's every day I clear my energy, and using these, even burning them every day, it's going to bring you success. Hey,
Cindy says hi.
hello, love.
Let me cut you off for one sec. I'm noticing a lot of new people today. Welcome. If this is your first time, we're different. Give you that, but the fact that you are still here and you were here from the beginning, of today's show, we haven't scared you away, and that's not the goal. The goal is to educate you both
Absolutely.
spiritually as well as on the health, the physical health aspect. So happy to see you all here and welcome.
And welcome. And remember, we're talking about herbs that you have in your cupboard. So if you go into your cabinet, the majority of herbs are there, but we don't even recognize them. We don't even use them. We don't even look. And I'll tell you, the first place I go when I'm going to do spiritual magic or create candles is into my kitchen. And I open up my rack and I'm like, what do you got for me? And it shows me everything I have. I'm getting fancy now. Back in the day, I wouldn't label things. Now I'm getting fancy with the little labels. You need a label because you're important. And now I segregate. Okay, you are super important to me. You are my everyday user. I don't have enough of you. You better go to the side.
Hmm.
But now
You
you know, but do you
sparingly.
see that? And
Yeah.
I didn't do it before this, but now with all the tea talks and putting it around, I'm very careful. And then if your herbs are old and you can't use them to cook with, this is where the magic comes in. They don't expire magically. Take them
No.
to the side. I have an herb cabinet. This is where I do all my magic now. I open up my cabinets. Okay, this expired. Not in my magic, it does. And I use it for my candle magic, to use
Hmm.
it to burn with, to put at your front door, to make sprays and tinctures. So
Yep.
open yourself up to all the possibilities. And you're like, no, I can't. Yes, you can. A little cinnamon spray. Check this out. A little
Hmm.
cinnamon, put it in your water as you're cleaning your floors. Guess what? You've added blessings, you've added
Yep.
success, and you're calling in money. You just washed, and it's called a wash. You just did a success wash. And it's
Yeah.
just a little cinnamon in that. Imagine each herb has this potency. You just got to know how to use it.
Exactly. Yeah. You can even put it into some water on your stovetop and let it come to a simmer. Your house smells amazing, and you're diffusing all of that magic throughout the entire house. So, yeah. All right. So the next, moving on.
Oh,
The next ingredient of pumpkin spice is something that I would say every Jamaican household has in their spice cabinet, and I know because yeah, if
yeah.
you're if
Allspice.
you're from the if you're from the Caribbean, especially Jamaicans, we all cook with this thing called allspice. We love our allspice, and allspice is in pumpkin spice. It's one of the ingredients in
Mm-hmm.
there. And again, it is absolutely, let me tell you what it smells like. It's a combination of, it's not a combination of, it smells like a combination of cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg, right? It's in a category all by itself. So if you didn't have cloves, which I don't think, cloves is not typically a blend or added to the blend of pumpkin spice. I like to put it in there because it
Me
has so
too.
many benefits. So
Mm-hmm.
that I would say that that's considered to be an option as far as the ingredient, but I would add cloves because it's so powerful. But the allspice is like a blend of cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg. If you wanted to have an idea of what it would smell like, but it's a very powerful spice, and I would say every Jamaican household has it. They just do. Again, it is anti-inflammatory, just like the others we mentioned. Aids in digestion. So again, we're looking at solar plexus chakra there, and it's going to help with symptoms like diarrhea, constipation, bloating, gasiness. It is, and because of all of that, it's considered to be major immune boosting, right? Antibacterial. The only caveat I'd say here is if you do have ulcers, I would try to avoid using allspice too much. However, one of the ingredients, I believe it's cloves, does help um, the digestive system by increasing that mucus lining, which helps to protect you against getting ulcers. So you have like the best of both worlds in this blend. I mean, pumpkin spice is so powerful in that regard. So even though allspice has that, there's a caveat against the people with ulcers using it, there's still that protection that you get from the other ingredients because it boosts your immune system so highly, and the mucus lining that helps to prevent your stomach from getting eaten through with the acid. Okay, so again, it's antifungal. It helps to protect against E. coli and another bacteria called Listeria. And this is again loaded with antioxidants, just like the other ingredients. It's antiseptic. This is like all the antis: anti-parasitic, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial. We can go on. I mean, this blend has it all in there. And again, also helps to improve circulation. So it's warming, and that's one of the reasons why I guess a lot of people like to use it this time of the year, because winter's coming, so it warms up the body. So I can understand from that regard why it's considered a fall blend, but from all of the other aspects, this is an all year long blend. So that is allspice in a nutshell.
Allspice. Once again, this is also another masculine energy. So you feel that, and it's fire. Once again, fire associated with Aries and Scorpio. And this is planet Mars now. Now we went from Jupiter to Mars, and Mars is about that. Let's get this done. I'm not playing with you. So with that Mars energy, this is all about, once again, allspice is about money and healing. And this one, especially this one, back in the day, the pirates would use allspice to help them find their treasures because it was an indicator for them that they were going in the right direction. So they would take out the
Mm.
map and they would take the allspice out and they would blow. And wherever the allspice would fall, is where the area that they would follow to gain their treasures. I didn't know that. That one was a really cool one. I was like, I
That's
want to be a pirate.
That's interesting too, because a lot of the islands that actually where allspice is popular has a lot of pirate history.
Pirates. Yes.
Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Puerto
The
Rico,
Caribbean. Yeah.
yes, so the Caribbean, yeah. So
The
yeah,
whole
there's that
Antilles
connection.
Islands behind us. They were came up
Mhm.
from all those islands were all pirates. We were all pirate
Yeah.
places. And that's how all these herbs spread. I steal from
Mhm.
Gina, Gina steals from me, and then we blend up the spices and we sell it to Charlotte. There you go.
Mhm.
It's
There you
called
go.
trade.
That's true.
But how powerful. And this spice was the treasure. So if you want to go treasure hunting, get yourself some allspice. Let's put it down on paper and set the intention. Find me the money. Show me the money. There you go.
And just remember who told you that tip. When you go and find that sunken pirate ship somewhere and it's loaded, you heard that tip here on Tea Talk with MJ and Gina.
There you go. Let's go.
Right. So I saw that Cindy said, I love cloves. So do I, but in moderation. Again, this is one of those in moderation. So, and this is the one that I would say is optional when it comes to the pumpkin spice. It's not a typical, all of the ones that I just mentioned up to this point are the 4 typical ingredients of pumpkin spice. So these other 2 that I'm going to mention to you are considered to be optional, but I would highly recommend putting cloves into your blend if you're going to do a DIY rather than, or even if you buy the pumpkin spice already made, you can certainly empty that out and then add in some powdered cloves for yourself and create your own blend.
So small, so little, just like the nutmeg advice she gave you, the same thing comes to cloves. It's such a little bit that you need. The dash goes a long way for you, and the benefits are off the chain.
Exactly. So again, it's loaded with antioxidants. It is considered to be anti-cancer, like a few of the others, and there's a lot of scientific, there's a lot of research papers out there. There's a lot of scientific studies that have been done to show this. So, anytime I mention that big C word, it's typically because I found documentation, and I mean medical documents, not just what somebody said, right? These are medical documents. But you again, only add a small amount because like nutmeg, it's so powerful. And one of the ways that I love to work with cloves is in a mouthwash because it is so good for the oral health. And so is nutmeg. Nutmeg also helps to, freshen your breath if you have issues with that. But cloves, and one story about cloves, and most people I don't think realize this, back in the day when they did not have, that Novocaine when you go to get your teeth drilled, you had to chew on some cloves and that would numb you. And then they did what they had to do. If you've ever worked with clove essential oil and you put in a little bit too much into something and then brush your teeth and your tongue went numb, yes, that has the power. Clove has the power to do that. So you want to make sure that you're working with cloves very sparingly because it does have that numbing effect. And
or if you have a toothache, you want to use it all the
yes.
time. You want to take it, you want to chew on it, you want to put it in there because back in the day, that's what they used it for. They numbed it, but it was, remember, there wasn't toothpaste back in the day. There was no toothpaste. Okay, so all the pirates, all that craziness is like, whoa, back up, bro. But you put some, they would choose some clove or put some clove in it, and it not only helped refresh the breath, but a lot of those cavities and all the mouth issues, it really did help.
Yes, definitely. So if you do have, if you, and the only thing I would say here is rather than working with the clove powder, if you can get clove essential oil, if you do have a cavity already, because you certainly don't want to be packing powder down into a cavity. So I would say get the clove essential oil. But if this is all you have, make maybe a tea and
Could you
use it that way.
Bring me the wash?
If it make a
clove wash in the bathroom. Yes. I have a clove wash that somebody's gonna bring to me. I just bought it. Okay. It is clove and it is 100% organic, and it is clove, it is nutmeg, and it is a mouthwash. She's gonna get it for me, and I'm gonna just show you. So this is something you use in your mouth. Say you just normal, refreshing. This is to keep your mouth intact. It doesn't have to be when you have it, but it's also a preventive. You don't want to have that toothache. You don't want to have that stuff. You don't want to have any of that. So if you didn't want to have any of that, then you wouldn't put it. So this is called, and check this out, Perio Bright Natural Mouthwash. Check this out. This is, and the ingredients, because this cinnamon. So just so we know, it is nutmeg, it is clove, it is cinnamon, All the ingredients we are talking about are right in this mouthwash.
Exactly.
Check
Yes.
this out, okay? So we're not joking. I bought this in a natural health food store for my health, but you can make this, okay? This is, you can make
Yeah.
this yourself. All right, but I went a little bougie, so I needed some extra stuff and I wanted to make sure that I have it. So this is preventative. I didn't want anything happening, and it helps if you have bad breath, any of that. This is what's going to help you, and that's what's in this tea. So say you make the tea, use it as a mouthwash and spit it out. It's going to give you the same ingredients,
Yeah, this
the
is
same results.
Charlie just said something about, when you put it into an orange, it actually helps to keep the flies away. And I've seen a lot of people do that, and it is a natural, fly repellent. Yes.
See?
But yeah, so you see, why is it that we're only, really going gung ho for this blend this time of the year when it's something that we should be utilizing all year long, really all
All
year
year.
long, because there's so many benefits to this. Antibacterial. And again, this one also the cloves helps to improve your liver health, helps to regulate blood sugar, because there are compounds in cloves that actually help to preserve your bone mass as well. There's manganese that's in cloves. So if you've been told by your doctor that you're on the verge of osteoporosis or some, that type of thing, clove is a natural preservative of your bones. So start working with cloves, but again, go sparingly because work with it all year, not just in the fall. Let's put it that
Okay.
way.
So let me give you some spiritual tips about this. Clove, you can burn it and it attracts your riches because it's all about wealth. So are you burning it? Are you lighting those cloves incense? Are you putting it on your charcoal dust? If not, hello, what are we waiting for? And make sure you want to check your moon phase. You want to do it in a waning moon, not in a waxing moon. You want a waxing moon. You want to wait, not a waiting. Sorry, you want it in the wax. You want to call it in with a new moon on that Thursday. Thursdays are the most powerful days to activate. Burn it on that day and call in your intention. I need money and I need it now, and burn some. Okay. This drives away hostility. So say you're having an argument with somebody and they just left your home, or a spouse or a child, any of the above. You want to burn some. You want to burn the energy around the house, just like you do with sage. But this one dispels the negative energy stuck in because of that. It breaks it up. That's why a lot of it in the churches back in the day, they would burn some right at the front entrance. So you walked in and it was their shield of protection. You didn't know it, but they knew what they were doing. You were walking into it. Okay. And also, it attracts the opposite sex. So if you want to call in the love, oh, lover, you better burn some. Now we're just talking burning this. All right. I'm not talking, I'm just saying a simple burn of these things. So all of the, and then lastly, which is important to you, someone's bereaving, someone is grieving. This is the herb you should be wearing. If it's not in the little oils that you burn out, clove helps to bring down grieving and stress in the body. So you want to put it somehow, you want to get that smell. Even if you boil it naturally, just boil some and it'll make the house smell amazing. But the benefits for the people that are bereaving are outstanding.
Yep, absolutely. And just to tie it, and again to connect it, remember MJ just mentioned about anger. Where's anger kept? In the liver. And this is a blend that actually helps with the liver as well. So you can see everything connects. It all connects. All right, so that was cloves, which again is an optional part of this blend, but I would highly recommend it. Now this next ingredient is completely optional. This is just something that I personally like to put in, and because I'm bougie, I like to say that. And that is cardamom. And cardamom has so many health benefits. There's something about it. So when I started to add it to my particular pumpkin spice blend, I just absolutely loved it. So give it a try and see if you like it. It's it's the ingredients in mango lassis that gives that when you've ever had a mango lassi and you're like, oh my gosh, I get it. It's the mango, but there's just something else in there. It's cardamom. It's the cardamom.
Cardamom.
Yes. So um, it's a little pricier, but it's worth everything. This jar right here is around $11 or $12, but you don't need a lot of it because it's such a powerful spice, and it's just the flavor that it gives, the aroma. It's just, whew. And yeah, it is an aphrodisiac as well. Did I mention that? You know, so um, we don't need to really go into that. I just wanted to give that as an option when you're making your DIY pumpkin spice, that you can add some cardamom. And the thing is, with these, experiment. Don't, just because it comes saying, oh, it's pumpkin spice, I'm going to use it as is. Dump that thing into another container, play around with some of your other spices, and come up with your own blend. That's the
Absolutely.
beauty of working with
Absolutely.
these, is that you can create your own stuff. You create your own magic, right?
Absolutely. I agree. You can add some turmeric, add anything you want to your blend, but make it yours, and use it for more than just your body. Use it for your spirit as too, because when I tell you, these blends are the multi-purpose blends in all magic, in all
Yes.
magic. So if this is the base, why are you using it only once a year, a certain time of year, and no pumpkin? Put the pumpkin away and just use it all year long and realize how great it is for you. Remember that, you know?
I have to post it. Charlie says, my daughter cooks with cardamom a lot. And then she says, that explains why she's cooking with it so much. Mm.
Yes, fire, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. And Charlie says, I'm burning some right now. So I'm thinking she's talking about cloves. We were talking about that earlier.
That's
Yes.
calling
So,
in. You're calling in love. You're calling the money. I'm with you, man. I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna be burning some too, because we need those
yes.
blessings in our life. All of us. All of us.
So pumpkin spice, don't reserve that for this time of the year. Work with this all year long. You cannot, there's so many different ways of working with it. You will not get bored. I have
Nope.
some. You've seen me sipping on some tea. This is pumpkin spice with a blend that I had already created, and I just combined the two. And let me tell you, and cinnamon was in here already. Nutmeg was in here as well. But there's vanilla, there's cacao, there's lavender, there's some rose petals. So you add all of that together. What do you get? You get magic. You get bougie,
Magic.
bougie magic.
Bougie magic. I love bougie magic.
There we go. That's what you get.
We need
So
t-shirts. Bougie
yes,
magic.
bougie
Yes.
magic.
With Gina's face on it. How about that?
Oh my gosh, I see it already. So
I do
guys,
too. I'm
this
wearing it.
yes, yes. So you know, don't reserve don't reserve pumpkin spice for this time of the year. It is such a powerful blend. You want to be utilizing it all year long. And I didn't tell you, where these two actually came from the Dollar Tree. At the time, I think I got these at the time when they were a buck. Now they would be a buck 25. But still,
There you
you
go.
get this, you get yourself some a container of clove. You add a little bit of clove to this, add some cardamom. You have your own personal blend, and add whatever else, maybe some turmeric, um, maybe some cumin, but maybe I was trying a little bit, but play around with it, right? Have a day when you just sit down and you put your spices in front of you and you just create. That's the beauty and that's the fun of doing this stuff. A lot of these blends I come up with is because I sat down and played one day and I said, "Oh, I like how that works together. Ooh, ooh, yeah."
I like the
You know?
ooh. But I'm going to give you an alternative to her, just in case. Just in case you want to be Miss Bougie, like Miss Bougie over here. Okay, let me just say. And you like, I ain't doing any of that because my money's going to Starbucks and I'm ordering me a pumpkin latte. I
Mhm.
got you. You're going to tell them to write your name on it, on your cup. Let them write how they go. MJ. And when you take it before, I want you to set your intention as you hold that cup in both your hands. I
Yeah.
want you to take it that way. This is the 4 P's: potency, Let's get it on. Protection. Yeah, baby.
Mhm.
Passion and prosperity. Call it all in. Set your intention with the cup and stir it 3 times. One, magic. Two, magic. Three, magic. Then the last is this beautiful thing right here, below.
Yep.
Magic. And guess what? You made magic in your cup, right? In Starbucks in front
Absolutely.
of everybody.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize, when you get your pumpkin spice, yeah, you're getting all of these ingredients in there. You can infuse your own magic into it. You don't have to just,
Yeah.
you know,
And remember, if you
just
don't want the pumpkin spice, it's pumpkin pie season. How many people are
absolutely.
making, eating? I accept pumpkin pie from any day of the week. I love pumpkin
Yes.
pie. So pumpkin pie, set your intention. Get the pie in front of you. It has all the ingredients. Remember, it's up to you. We have thought. Use your mind to say, oh, right
Mhm.
here is my magic. Put your
Yep.
hands on it, activate it, magic. And there you
Hmm.
go. All the ingredients are right there. It's as
Yep.
simple as
Pumpkin
that. If
pie,
you didn't want to
pumpkin,
do anything,
yeah, pumpkin bread. I like to play around with you get the basic recipe for banana bread, and then I add in other things like pumpkin spice in there, or some days I add in moringa and other. But that's how you create magic. You never know what you're going to get, but sometimes you get this amazing thing that comes out. It's like, oh my gosh, yeah. And that's how I ended up creating. My youngest son called it Mamba Bread, which was mango, banana, and moringa. And he took, a couple of the letters and he came up with Mamba Bread. But it was amazing. And it was green because of the moringa. And I never thought that the kids would actually eat it. But they were like, oh my gosh, this is so good. But it came up because of just playing around and just throwing a few things in there. So yes, just yeah. So there's so many different ways of not just the drinks, not just the tea, breads, cakes. Yeah,
everything, everything. And if
look on
you're
the
not
internet,
bathing it,
guys.
you know what? Make a bath,
Yeah.
put it in your salt bath. I'm telling you, this is
Mhm.
that. Burn it if you don't want it. There's so many ways. Just don't take. Hey, I'm going to show you real quick, and this is the fastest way. All right, and this is easy. It's called the witch's. It's called a witch's ball.
Yeah.
In this is all the ingredients.
Yes, Cindy. Sorry, Cindy. Yes, that's the next P. Potency, protection, prosperity. Um,
And prosperity. So it's potency, protection, passion, and prosperity. The
okay.
4 P's are in this blend right here.
Yes.
That's the magic. And see, and this even you create a little witch ball for yourself. They call it a witch's ball. You can call it a magical. You can call it the 4 P's ball. Whatever you do, this is ball. If I'm going to use the name for it, they call it a witch's ball, but what it is, it's the ingredients. And what this thing is, you hang it on your door, you hang it in your area, you hang it in your doorway, and it protects you. It is potent, it is your love, and it's everything. It is multi-purpose, and it's the same ingredients we discussed today,
Yeah.
just so you know.
In place
And
of
look,
your
and it's pretty.
mistletoe. No. Yeah, mistletoe might not happen this year. It might just be prosperity balls and or the four
Or
P's
you
balls
mix it.
everywhere.
Check it out. No, no, no. Stop. Stop. Everybody loves to kiss. Okay, stop your shit with that. All right, we're going. Oh,
Okay, so here's what we do.
add
You
the
take the
cinnamon.
mistletoe and add it around
There
it.
you go. There you go. You add the cinnamon to it and you make it now. You kiss and you
Absolutely.
add some love and you like, yeah, under
Yeah, we
that.
got everything right there, baby.
Or wait, if you're going to do really special and you know that special person's coming, start burning before they get to the spot. And then you're like, hello, come to me,
You know.
baby.
Oh my! I think this is the most fun we've had on this show. Oh my gosh!
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So look how pumpkin spice has us. It has us all spicy. So remember, it is about fire crystals. When I gave you all. I had to move because my internet wasn't working where I was. So I left all my fire crystals on the table up front. But we're talking fire. So this is sunstone. This is fire agate. And this is carnelian. These are all the stones that you need to help you activate your sacral chakra and your fire, because you are fire. The 4 P's, Christmas decorations. Yeah, listen, this ball I found at the 99-cent store. It was only 50 cents, and I added the ingredients to it. There's cinnamon hint. I added some potpourri in there, and there you go. See, thank you.
Yep.
So, and you see how
Absolutely.
it is, and there you go. So don't. It's so simple and it's creative. And hear me, what a great gift. Hello. What a great holidays are coming. What if you make and don't call them witches balls. Call them prosperity balls. With a little bow there, guess what? You made prosperity balls and everyone's going to love you. And what do they do when they smell? They smell wonderful. Change the name, but make it magic and gift it
Yeah.
to somebody. I'm sure they're going to love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Well, that is our show for today. That
There's
was
a lot of
interesting.
magic. Well, we thank you for coming,
Yes.
Gina and I. Gina, this was so great. I loved everything, not pumpkin.
Everything not pumpkin. Yes.
Everything not
Um,
pumpkin, but it was pumpkin. So we
this
thank
is
you,
fun.
beautiful pumpkin. We will honor the pumpkin of the day with this pumpkin. And this is Udalite. Udalite glows. So if you don't ever have a piece of Udalite, I want you to know that this crystal glows orange, just like the pumpkin for this season. And it's, guess what? This crystal is right here it's from the United States. You can get these crystals are from the United States. Thank you.
Let me show this. Charlie says she's doing a holiday bazaar in December and she's going to be making them. Thanks for the idea. Just
There
let
you
us know
go.
when you're doing it.
Yes. Please
Yes.
tag us on it so we know, and let tag people if they want to know the ingredients to this so they can know all the great benefits that comes from this magical blend that you're about to give them, because that's
Yes.
a great gift. Many blessings on that. May they all sell out. I wish you the best on that. Right? I
Absolutely.
got her. If you haven't seen Charlie Creates Great Magic, hold on. I want to show you the magic she created. Now I'm going to be real delicate because this is one of my favorite pieces. But look what she created. So this is what she creates.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh. I
look
love
at
it.
this. This is on my Ancestor Ultra
I
now.
love
Look
it.
at this amazing piece that she makes. So I know her balls are going to be really amazing. You better go get those balls.
Get those balls,
But
people. Get those
yeah,
balls.
but this
And
is
for those
magic.
of you, if you're new here, we do this every Tuesday.
Yes,
Periodically we kind of shake it up and do it on a Thursday, all depending on what's happening. But right now, we're going to try to be more consistent with the Tuesday because I do have a few other things that I've put on my calendar that are on Thursdays now. So, yeah. But yeah, Thursdays at 3:33 and
Tuesdays at
that's
3:33.
Eastern Standard Time. That would be, yes, on New York time. Okay, so you'll kind of figure out what, if you're watching from a different time zone, what time that's going to be. And next week we're going to have another blend to share with you. And this again is one that's, should be utilized all year. But
Yes.
I think there's only a certain time again that people love to use it. But we'll share that with you, and it's going to most likely be Chinese 5 spice. So if you're familiar with that, come on next week and hear all about the benefits, both spiritually and physically, and all the
Because
others.
there's magic in that cup, and we want to show you what that magic is and how
Yes.
you can use it. So thank you, Gina. Thank you, everybody
Thank you,
that showed up.
MJ. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you
Take
again
care.
next week.
Bye bye.